said, if you died right now, do you know that heaven would be your home? 99% of them said no. The 1% we found out later were Christians that belonged to the church. We just hadn't seen them yet. Roman Catholic. Everybody down there is Roman Catholic. You ask them, so if you died right now, do you know heaven would be your home? Do you have that assurance? No. Now, I don't want to get on another religion or anything else, but what good is that religion? I mean, if they're not giving these people the plan of salvation where they can have the assurance in their heart, I mean, that got away with me. Everybody you'd ask, Tom would ask, I said, do you attend church anywhere? Oh, Catholic. Well, there's another for the harvest, because all you had to do is explain it to them, and they were more than willing, just nobody ever had. We had a lot of success going door to door, except for Tuesday. Tuesday we went on some streets that I think on the whole street we had 2 saved on Thomas and our little journey. Die-hard Roman Catholics. One man wanted to argue, and Thomas told him, said, we didn't come all the way from America to argue with you, about this. And if you're willing to accept this, it's up to you. We've presented it to you. He was, in Thomas's side, he was probably devil-led, because his wife sat there the whole time, never said a word. He finally went outside, and she was won to the Lord. So, it was just one of those strange situations that we got into. The biggest thing that hit me down there, as far as or it struck me, is what scared me is what it did. Where we were at is in Valencia. 2 million people. 2 million people. We ain't got many cities around here with 2 million people in them. Had the skyscrapers, had the 4-lane roads. They used 5 lanes, 6. That was where they drive like, whoa. You could see where they had the medians, concrete sidewalks. The medians were poured, had trees had been planted at one time. At one time, that place was beautiful. It looked like Lebanon and a war had come through there. Everything was dead. There was garbage everywhere. Garbage was everywhere. Never saw the first garbage truck. Not the first sign of one. Never saw a fire truck. The police rode around in the back of Toyota pickup trucks, 7 of them in the back, had on bulletproof vests and machine guns. Well, that's comforting. The National Guard is their version of the Army. They don't have an army, it's the National Guard. They're the enforcers for the government. We met some of those. Brother Fred's got a picture with a man whose name was Pablo. In English, that's Barney. So we've got the picture of Fred and Barney. The man told Fred if he didn't send him a copy of that picture, he'd come get him. I said, when the death squad comes knocking, you're going to wish you'd have mailed that picture. But the whole thing about that city and all those towns we were in, that could be the United States of America in 3 years if our economy went sour. This is no lie. In 3 years or less, we could be in the same shape as them. They have no services. They have no water that amounts to anything. It's a trickle. Their sanitation won't work half the time. You take a 5-gallon bucket and you pour it in the commode when you get through. It's pitiful. You take a shower with a 5-gallon bucket and a butter cup. If I ever see another one, I'll probably throw up. But you can't drink the water. If you get the water in your mouth, you better be a gargling or something. Harlan will tell you about that. He got sick, and Thomas had some medicine that helped him through that. But medical services, unless you're a government official, you don't get them. it's pitiful. Those people, I don't know what the percentage was, but very few had jobs. The man and woman where we stayed, he worked for Pirelli Tire as a maintenance man. He'd get up every morning at 4 o'clock, him and his wife, and the first night we were there, he told me he could speak a little bit of English. He tried real hard. His name was Pedro, a great man. I mean, he was a true blessing, him and his wife both. He told, he said, if you hear something at 4 o'clock in the morning, said, you come downstairs, said, think nothing of it. I'm like, what's going on at 4 o'clock in the morning? I'm not getting up anyway. He said, my wife and I will be in here on the floor praying. The man gets up at 4 o'clock every morning, him and his wife, goes in there in the kitchen, studies the Bible, and then prays for a half hour before he goes to work. Every morning. I'm going to tell you right now, I feel very inadequate, very lacking in my spiritual life next to that man and his wife. It was a humbling experience, seeing what they don't have, what we have, the way they worship. Their worship services were cool. I mean, they were good. They had a electronic piano, which I think they got secondhand because a few keys or something missing on it. A drum and a tambourine. Tambourine is the best part of that trio. But it didn't matter. They'd sing, they'd praise, they'd raise their hands, they'd stand up. I mean, you could feel the Spirit. I mean, they weren't even holding back. When they went to church, they went to church. The church at Quigway is it's pitiful. I don't know any other way to put it, but it's pitiful. It's a 3-room little old bitty building. We've got classrooms that's bigger than the main room in it. There was 13 or 18 butter dishes in there catching water the first day we went in it because it was raining outside. They had a curtain separating one of the 3 rooms was a bathroom. Had a curtain separating it. And I didn't go in there, but Harlan and them said that you could see through the wall to the outside. That's the best they can do for a church. You know, I prayed for them over that, and I'm going to continue to pray for them about that. The Lord is working there. They're out there working hard. Those in the church at Valencia, they're both. When we'd go out, we'd always carry an interpreter, and one of the ladies or one of the men from the church, majority of the time it was the ladies would go with us. When we were presenting the gospel or whatnot, a lot of times in translation and whatnot, you'll lose something or the people won't understand or whatnot, or a lot of times they don't know, they can't comprehend it. We had a translator or a church lady with us whose name was Julia. If we ever bogged down in it, most of the time you didn't even have to look at her. She'd jump in there and I don't know what she said. I ain't got a clue because she was going 90 miles an hour. But she'd go for about 10 minutes before she'd get a breath. And she won I don't know how many to the Lord just by being bold enough to get in there and do it. Angela was another one. These church ladies, they'd go get us in the door and then they'd turn it over to us. But if we faltered, they'd tag out and they was right there with us. It was a church on fire. I mean, they were ready to see the harvest, and it was good to see. I mean, it was exciting to see. It's an experience I won't ever forget. It was very humbling, like I said. All these men I went with, we laughed, we cried, we carried on. I behaved myself. Some. All right, there's a couple of moments, but we'll talk about them later. We worshiped together, we fellowshiped, and we rejoiced. I mean, when we go to meeting with these people,